Today marked a busy day in Lexington as thousands of fans traveled to Kroger Field to watch UK football take on Southern Miss. And when there's an increase in traffic for events like that, you can bet Lexington Police's traffic safety division will be out in full force. WKYT's Alyssa Williams checking in with them to see how they're keeping fans safe in tonight's top story.
As thousands of UK fans file into Kroger Field to watch the Wildcats, many may be unaware of the individuals that are working to ensure these UK fans make it to and from the game safely. Those folks are Lexington Police's traffic safety section. Nearly 100 officers are stationed throughout the city on game days like this one.
It's really rewarding to be able to look around and to see the fans having a good time and knowing that part of that was what we did to get them here safely and in a timely manner.
Lexington Police Lieutenant Jeremiah Davis says officers are strategically placed from the field all the way to New Circle Road.
It is a massive undertaking, but it allows us to move a full stadium of folks in order to get them home in the post-game time frame in slightly over an hour.
Davis says a secret weapon the department has to further their coverage is the mobile command post.
Our command post that we're standing in front of allows us to have all of the technology and monitoring equipment that we would have inside of an office, but here on site.
But Davis adds that traffic safety doesn't fully depend on the officers.
One of the biggest things that we can ask you to do is please pay attention to our officers as they're going to be out in the intersections. At some intersections, they're going to be giving you directions. They're going to be conducting some sort of manual traffic control. Heed their direction, listen to what they have to say.
In Lexington, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
And it's going to be a late night getting everyone out tonight. Davis says without their help, it would take people several hours to get out of Kroger Field after the game.